When I am introduced as a political strategist or campaign PR manager, people always mistook me to be a professor. Also, when I am given this introduction in my blog or in radio and television interviews, my critics always ask, where the hell or what cave did this political strategist emerge from? So that's why today I have decided to make a full introduction of myself. And today I will lay before you the not so normal life I have lived. It is a life full of scandals, controversies, and crises. But that kind of life made me into a political animal that I am today. It is about time that I tell you, my followers, that I became a political strategist and a PR campaign manager, not through textbooks or books, but through actual battle, media battles, political battles, where I emerged victorious for me and as well as my political clients over the last 14 years. But before we proceed, please subscribe to the VlogCaster Armand YouTube channel, because as I said, in this channel, you will gain insight about the political issues in the country from an expert who is not an outsider, but someone who is really deep embedded, deep within this political system in the country. So please share and do comment about your views on what I am about to tell you now. I would say my love for politics started early. I came from a political clan in Zamboanga City, and it is a practice of the family to start us young, to encourage us to speak in the platform or political platform, to distribute leaflets and to campaign. Even if we were still in our elementary years, we were encouraged to go to help our elders do campaigning for my clan. And in college, I brought this little experience I had, and I formed my own political party, and I became its political strategist and propagandist. But my full indoctrination into the political and PR world happened when I became a reporter and columnist of the local paper in Zamboanga City called The Morning Times, and in 1987. And later, in 1992, the Philippine Daily Inquirer recruited me in Manila. So, my life in politics really started with me fighting and exposing the graft and immoral ways, the graft-ridden and immoral ways of politicians. As a journalist, I learned and saw the underbelly of corruption in the political world, and I began exposing them. And for this advocacy, starting in Zamboanga City, the mayor there was so angry with my expose that he declared me public enemy number 1. And more than that, he banned me for life from covering City Hall. Imagine being banned for life from covering. So that was a big news in the local level. And later the Inquirer got me, and that was a time when I exposed the Little League Baseball scam of 1992. This is an international issue where irregularities have been found in the age and regional representation of the Little League players we sent to Williamsport, USA to play, and where they emerged as international or world champion. So they were the toast of the country, and President Ramos received them in the palace and set up a ticker tape parade for them in Makati and all over Metro Manila. So they were the toast of the town. But then we heard that there were irregularities in their representation, and we dug deep into it, and we affirmed those irregularities. And the US organizers of the Little League stripped the Philippines of our title, and it became big news in the sports world. The news is landed in Time Magazine, Newsweek, the Washington Post, the New York Times, BBC, CNN, ABC News, and Sports Illustrated, among others. And it is a very big issue, more so in this country, because we were embarrassed, and our amor proprio was really hurt, even if our investigative report clearly showed that local officials in Zamboanga and sports officials in Manila connived to stage this cheating. So back then, I was already receiving death threats, threats of being sued by politicians, and a Monsignor loyal to the politicians in the city, in Zamboanga City, went on radio to call for my public hanging, to encourage people to look for me and to hang me from an electric pole. So that was my baptism of fire, so to speak. So as a result, I had to go in exile in Manila. I had to leave the city, otherwise I would be killed in that city. So here in Manila, I had to face the Senate investigation conducted by Senator Joey Lina, looking into this issue, this very embarrassing issue. And thankfully, he affirmed, and he himself found that what we wrote about was really true. And he absolved us and cleared us of any wrongdoings. So here in Manila, I was then assigned to cover Congress in 1996. And there again, I found out how contractors were paying congressmen to build big projects, overpriced projects, with the taxpayers being built for the payola being given to congressmen. And when these stories came out, what the congressmen did was not to investigate the issue. What they did was to pass a resolution asking the House Committee on Good Government, the House Public Works, and the House Ethics Committee to investigate me and the Philippine Daily Inquirer. So you can see that I'm really deep into it. So the issue became very big because it involved a company owned by ABS-CBN, Meralco, Star Cinema, and other influential firms of the Lopezes. There was even a 5 million offer for me to back out of the investigation and to discontinue with the investigation. But I pursued in the investigation, and so with proof, with two congressmen, including former Congressman Mike Defensor, coming out in the open to say that they were really given bribe by the company of the Lopezes, then congressmen had to stop the investigation because they knew it was making them look even bad in public. But hardly had that issue died down, I again stumbled on the irregularities involving how congressmen spent their pork barrel, how many of the 50 to 100 million a year, or some 500 million, some 700 million pork barrel funds of congressmen were used for non-essential things like t-shirts, basketball courts, or many went to ghost projects. So I exposed this. And like in the first incident, it was not this matter that the congressman investigated. Again, they got the ethics, the good government, and the public works committee to again investigate me. And that was, you see, the first time that the pork barrel issue was laid bare. That was the first time that people were told we made a good case. Not only me, but the whole Inquirer investigative reporters, my colleagues, worked together to build a strong case of graft and corruption against congressmen. And it was then that 250 of them threatened to file a 1 billion libel case against the Inquirer. And some even suggested that the Inquirer and me should be sued for inciting to sedition. This is a law Marcos used against coup plotters, but this time they wanted to use it on me. But then again, due to public backlash, they backed off. But that was before many congressmen went on the floor, especially those who exposed, threatening me with one congressman inviting me to his place and saying that he will bang my head on the pavement to show that it was well built and that it was not substandard, to show that the road could start the banging of my head. But he vowed not to kill me, just to bang my head. So that was a privileged speech delivered in Congress. So in 1998, another expose I made about a big businessman, again with questionable projects with the government. When this investigative report came out, that businessman sued me for 130 million libel case. And this remains to be one of the biggest libel cases in the country. So, in all these crises and scandals, I learned so much about the political and media world. In my exposure with Metro Manila and provincial politicians that I either expose or some I helped, the good ones, or the others became my friends already, I learned a lot from them. I made it a point to ask questions about their secrets on how they won the election, their secrets on how they campaigned. So, they became my mentors in politics. Although I didn't have any plans to run for politics, but I was just fascinated by it. And I kept asking them for tips and on how to run, how to campaign, and how to win in the elections. And I kept this kind of attitude when I was assigned as an Inquirer reporter to cover the House of Representatives, the Philippine Senate, Malacanang, the courts, and the departments of government. Thus, you can say that the presidents of the country, the vice presidents, the senators, congressmen, governors, and mayors became my mentors. So that's how I learned in a unique and very effective way how the political world works, especially the strategic thinking needed in politics. And armed with these insights and knowledge on politics and PR, campaigns, and operations, I felt emboldened to finally resign from the Inquirer after a 20-year stint as a journalist. So, in 2007, I set up my own public relations firm, specializing in legal PR work, crisis management, and political strategy and campaign and PR work. And through my firm, Dean and King's Communications, me and my 5 partners pioneered the experimentation of the use of social media to enhance or to help our political clients win in political campaigns. And we perfected the use of social media as well as the old media, print, radio, and TV in the elections of 2007, 2010, 2013, 2016, and the 2019 national and local elections. So that's about 5 elections that became my classroom and my masteral and doctorate. So in my 14-year work, I was able to help presidents, vice presidents, mayors, governors, congressmen, councilors get elected into offices, and they remain my friends. But some have fallen out. So, my experiences and insights, and as well as vast connections in politics and politicians, sort of given me, like I said, triple masteral and triple doctoral that other political analysts and political strategists use to give their political views. But on my end, it is all based on politics, and I'm happy with that experience. So, although I am not a professor, but my 34 years experience in media and politics gave me key lessons and insights on how the political game operates in the world. And I learned this beyond the walls of politics. I learned this by digging deep in the trenches of political and perception war that I have fought for in 14 years and even before that when I was in media. Recently, I passed my business on to my daughter, but I have made it my advocacy to dispense political issues through my video blog, the VlogCaster Armand YouTube channel. And I'm specifically targeting on voters' education to help people, to help you decide on whom to vote, even as I expose corrupt and incompetent officials that I know are unfit to run for office. And as I said, many of them are known to me. I have also made it my mission to expose fake news, disinformation, propaganda, and other schemes used by politicians to use by people, and which I am very familiar with. Because one time, I too used many of these tools. And as they say, it takes one to know one. So this is my advantage over the textbook or campus-based political analysts. So I end here, and I'm happy that you have watched this video and took time to know who VlogCaster Armand is. And I thank you for watching, and please again, stay with me, get exclusive and inclusive and inside view of politics from as a veteran and seasoned political strategist and PR campaign manager. Take it from me, learn from me, and we will learn together, and we will educate ourselves and our fellow Filipinos together. So, please, I encourage you to put in your comments in the comment section because I too want to get feedbacks from you. I too want to learn from you. This is a two-way process. This is not just me talking. I would also like to hear from you. So again, thank you very much. Have a good day and see you in my next vlog.